So far, we have seen about and what about the models behind over there? Okay, what about the replicative model? What about the predictive model? Or what about the structure? There is we'll have a stochastic structure, deterministic structure. Okay, so today our topic is about an field of application. So what about the field of applications over there? So when we are developing any technical systems, when we are developing any technical systems, so we'll have a main field of application. So which is the one to be the validation of specifications and the verification of design. So I think so. Hope you all can able to remember that how we can execute or how we can develop a consecutive model, executable model from the conceptual model. So we have to accept the analysis. So we have to do the verification. We have to do the validation. Okay. Similarly, we will be making of the simulations. We do the qualification. So everything that will be done over on it. Okay. So main in the case of an field of the applications and particularly for in the field of simulations. So what we have to do with the Fabrina, we have to do the validation and the verification. So validation of specifications and the verifications of designs over on it. Okay. So in ideal case, what will happen, Abdina? So the design will be available immediately in the model form. In an ideal case, so what will happen? The design will be available immediately in the model form over here. So what will happen? So nothing stands in the way of a direct simulation. Okay. So the hitherto what he has done. So he has mainly been case in the design of digital electronics using hardware description languages. So we all know that we'll be using a very very low over on it. So in the hardware, so particularly he has been seen the case when you are using the simulation. So in ideal case, the design will be available immediately, but nothing will be stands in the case of a direct simulation. So otherwise, what you should do with the Fabrina? So we have to bring out the modeling. Modeling must take place first thing in order to bring about the transition from an arbitrary description to a simulation model. Okay, the first thing we have to bring out the modeling. Okay, this the use of modeling and the simulation, which is closely linked to the underlying design process. So the use of modeling and simulations is closely linked to the underlying design process overall. Okay, so whereas in the case of an so these will can be roughly divided in accordance with the design direction into top down and bottom down approach. Bottom down design flows. So when we are saying about, so we'll be having in a design direction into an top down and bottom of design. So first thing we'll be seeing about an bottom of design. So this is the diagram which shows about an what is the specification, how we'll be transforming our system. So we'll have a from the specifications, we'll have a submodules. So we have a n number of submodules. So that submodule has to be combined into a modules over on it. So finally, we'll be defining our system. Okay. So this will be carried out with the help of an time versus our abstractions over on it. Okay. So when we are defining a bottom of design, so it is the classic method of development of electronics and mechanics. So it is the classic method of an development of electronics and mechanics over there. So that's the initial starting point. So what will happen, Abhina? So it is the specification, so which has to be drawn up in a natural language. So it is the development of, it is the method which is for the development of electronics and mechanics. So the initial starting point, which will be the specification. So that is typically drawn up in the natural language. Okay. So then what will happen after drawn up the initial point, we then the basic components. So we know the what are all the basic components. We'll have a transistors, resistors, capacitors, or a spring, masses, shocks, or even observers. So everything that has to be added and combined successfully. So that has to be combined successfully to form ever more complex and abstract creation until the complete design emerges. Okay. So these are to be the second thing. Third thing, we have to take place on the structural level. So that only which is determined each time in which submodules makes up a module and how these are to be connected together. So everything. So such a design can be performed using a circuit editor or a suitable tool for multi-body systems. So what is the first thing? The first thing we have to initially draw up the specification. From the specification, the basic components has to be ordered and successfully in order to form a complex and abstract creation. Then it has to be take place on the structural level. Then each time each submodules makes up a module and how these are to be connected together. So such a design will be performed using a circuit editor or a suitable tool for multi-body system. What about the advantages? So advantages mean that so it influences the non-ideal implementation which can be taken into an account at an early stage. So first thing, we can have the influences of the non-ideal implementation. Second one, these may be unavoidable. That is the parasitic resistance, capacitance, and the inductance, everything and that. Okay. So similarly, in the field of mechanics, what will happen, Abhina? So it may have some friction effect also. So let me see one example. So that is the one problematic aspect is coming upon the specification. So in specification, we're getting up the problematic aspect. So after having, so once the problem is arena, so it may chance to take a diversion via the submodules because what you have done over on it, we have done the specifications. So after specifications, we have created the submodules, module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. So there is a chance of getting the diversion in the submodules and the modules. So from the abstract description. Okay. So this is because, so what will happen? What as a result, what you're doing? The structure oriented modeling, that is system can be only be simulated. So when it has been completely implemented, so that has been taken over that. So thus errors and weakness in the system design, they are not noticed until a late stage. So what will happen, Amina? So which can bring about considerable costs and delays over on it. So this is the advantages when you're considering bottom of design. The next one, we have to define the top-down design. So top-down design just be a reverse of your bottom-up design. So in top-down design, we'll be using specification. We define the system modeling. So from system modeling, we'll be defining module. From the module, we'll be defining the sub-modules. So, okay. So this is the approach, which is the concept behind in the top-down design. So when you're using a top-down design, what will happen, Abhina? So a significant characteristics of top-down design is the prevailing design direction from abstract to detailed description. So we'll have a top-down design as a prevailing design direction from abstract to detailed descriptions over on it. So this is to be the pure behavioral model. So the function of which already covers the good part of the specification. So the starting point is to be the pure behavioral model. So in which the we have a good part of specifications. So the model is successively partitioned. So what will happen, Abhina? So and at the same time, it refined until an implementation is obtained. So the model successfully partitioned and will have a refined until an implementation is obtained over on it. So it is necessary to describe a system or module output in a functional manner. So this will be carried out over there. So that was first made possible by the introduction of hardware description languages in the field of electronics. Okay. So using the design is directly formatted as a model so that the most of the sequence will have over on it. Okay. So this is the pure behavioral model that we have to take on. What is the advantages behind it? So when you are seeing the advantages, so errors and weakness in the designs which can be noticed early so that we can able to so that is contrast to the bottom up approach. And similarly, the implementable part which can be validated by the simulations over on it. Okay. So the next thing, the implementable part of the specification which is available as a precisely defined reference for the verification of the design. The functional part is the unambiguous one and the complete one. So in the event of doubt, a simulation is run over on it. Okay. And similarly, the implementable specifications and the models of individual design stages means that full documentation is available in which, however, still remains to be supplemented by comprehensive commentary. Okay. So what is the relationship of design strategies to the modeling? So we'll have a structurally valid and implementation. So we'll have a predictively valid and the specifications. So this level of validity and its significance for the design of a technical system. So this is the design strategies to the modeling overall. So we'll be having about the two things, one to be the modeling for the specification and other one to be the modeling of the design. Okay. So by that, the field of applications gets overrun over there. Okay, so we have seen about and two different approaches, one to be the bottom approach, another one to be the top down approach. Thank you all.